Mini Wargamer Dave here from MiniWargamer.com, here at Trench Crusade at Adepticon, looking at all the awesome miniatures in real life right in front of our faces. Today, we're going to talk with Tuomas Pirinen, ask him some questions, see what the future plans are for Trench Crusade, and just dive into this hellish world.
Hello, Milwaukee. Really lovely to see you.
Initial reaction to Trench Crusade and the community's support for it. How did you receive that yourself and the team? Like, what was it? Were you expecting this?
Who's here for Trench Crusade?
Absolutely stunned. Like, we did not see any of this coming.
Coming from a company of just originally 3 guys who just thought that let's burn all our money and make a game we want to do, I am surprised every day when I wake up. Before we start, I want to there was some tough news this morning. Paul was the guy who gave me my first job in the industry. Without him, I wouldn't be here. Like, zero chance, because all of us had to get our first chance somewhere. Obviously, built the Citadel Journal from nothing, ground up, all him. Legendary run as the White Wolf editor. And then the CEO of the Warlord, again, is the great guys, a magnificent company. He built it with his blood, sweat and tears. But Paul was also the guy who, his spirit, if it is here, if I tried to mope and be sad, he would come and slap me. Because if there's one thing Paul loved, it was wargaming. So I'm gonna dedicate this speech to him, and I'm also trying to keep my emotions down because he would hate me to be down in the dumps. he would tell me off so badly. So thank you, Paul. Right, let's talk about Trench Crusade. So I learned to ignore common sense and love the artillery books. So let's look at our plan on a high level. We are supposed to be sensible businessmen and try to do something where we can actually make something last. So let's do a table war game, there is one company that absolutely rules the entire market, and it's not a very big market. I mean, it's a bit different if you're making a video game. There is over 2 billion consumers at least. That's not true for table miniature war games. We did no market research because me and Mike hate anything that's anything that's not creative. Obviously, it's important to have no money in the bank. That's very important if you start doing a game. We also didn't do any marketing, partly because A, we don't know how to do it, B, it's a really expensive one, so we didn't have any money, and C, I am not against marketing. I actually like to know about the new games. I just don't like to run ads myself. I always feel a bit dirty. So we decided let's not do that either. Let's pick a subject matter that nobody else is touching because it's really controversial. And let's remember that the main stream is there around the PG-13. So we decided we'll make it mature, R-rated. And that's another good decision to take. And then in the end is they find a way to piss off a lot of people who have a lot of followers. Off the wall we go. So let's look at all the mistakes we made, one in time. So let's select an incredibly touchy niche subject. At its core, Trench Crusade is a game about the role of faith in war and how far are you willing to push your principles and your ethics and morals in order to achieve victory. And how soon will you start resembling those that you fight against?
So we would carry all the risk ourselves. We'd seek no outside help that was non-creative. So yes, we've used collaborators, we've used artists. You've probably seen the Paul Bonner's artwork, many others. Mark Gibbons is working with us. Dave Gallagher, legendary John Blanche. But nobody outside of creative spheres was working with us as we created the game. Jamie joined us later to run the Kickstarter, but that was when we already had a product. What we then ended up with, because there was nobody wise to advise us, was things like the people making pilgrimage to the Lake of Fire and burning themselves, and a horrible mutated flies that would keep their victims alive as part of their body. Somebody with some common sense would probably stop us, but there was nobody with common sense with the team, so we did it anyway. Like Iron Man says, not a great plan. Let's carry on. There's lots of other mistakes to do.
In terms of potential offense that some may take from this, what was the response and what was the feeling behind that from the team's perspective?
So we did our game. To this day, I haven't quite figured out why some people got so pissed off with us. I have no clue. I can't. Usually the videos tend to be incomprehensible. There is a saying that the Shakespeare had, is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And I quite often, when you get these pieces, is on the internet and just following this, he's very angry. I don't know why, or what he's trying to, how he would fix this. Because the other thing is that you get these people who get very upset. They never offer any better alternatives. Because I'm a huge game fan. If you can do it better than I can do, please do it. I want to play your greater game. But if you're just shouting at somebody on internet, I don't know how much it build things. So, but these people have a lot of following. So we got all sorts of things. That they were always full of LGBTQ flags for whatever reason. Again, I've never figured out. I was actually, when this all blew up, I was fast asleep, and I just woke up. Okay. But the common wisdom says you don't want to piss these people off. But then lots of other people started making videos, and they started getting thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of views. And they were not attacking us. They were really, really happy about the game. And we just went, okay, it's much better. Remember, we had no marketing strategy. We didn't reach out to any influencers. A lot of you that are sitting here have made great videos. We are super grateful. But especially since it's sincere. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about coercion. It wasn't about rubbing somebody's back. That people just got enthusiastic and they wanted to do all this creative stuff. So I think we dodged a bullet there. Mistake number 4, it's another thing we got flack for. We included Islamic and African factions. I did ask once, I was working at PlayStation. I won't mention names, but I showed what I'm doing. And he just pointed at the Abyssinians and the Iron Sultanate and said, don't do that. And I said, and we did it anyway. Because they're really cool. There is some incredible history and iconography that is sorely underused in all the gaming industry. But we didn't want to do either a Disneyfied glorified version or you're born evil because you're born in some part of the world. My mantra was let's not pander, not slander. So that allowed us to at least try to do them have authenticity. And we even tackled quite hard subjects like historically, the Janissaries is the Ottomans' elite soldiers. They were slave soldiers. That's pretty dark stuff. But you can cover even hard subjects in fiction if you actually know what you're talking about. And we put a lot of effort into research, and it's been great. These guys are really popular, not only with the usual wargaming crowd, but also we've got people in Turkey, people from Ethiopia, who are really into what we are doing, and I take a huge pride in that, because it's very easy to take the wrong turn when it's not a culture you grew up with, even if you have good intentions. And again, the game is very grimdark. We did not want to present anybody either as this sort of a sugar-coated, idealized version, but something that would fit in the world. And to me, there is no greater validation than seeing people, whose cultures you included are enjoying what you do. The Ethiopian war prophet, it's the Yubasi captain. I'm still using both words. Yubasi means, in essence, captain, so it's captain. But of course, Yubasi isn't your everyday use word in English language. But there was more mistakes. Basically, with very finite funds, our choices for artists, sculptors, and writers were extremely limited. John Blanche, obviously, I made several products and the games with him, but to even consider hiring him would be many times more than all the money we put in the game in total. But we just said, anyway, let's ask them. I mean, hey, they can say no. But all of them said yes. So it's been super great. It's the get to do another game with John Blanche. The last one was Mordheim. To do this again, I couldn't even dream about it. Dave Gallagher, who is an absolute legend, Des Hanley, now Mark Gibbons. Obviously, we sold out all the Paul Bonner's art. I think that's the tells everything you know about that, and that allowed us to make the book look like we'd like it to look like. But there are still more mistakes. So I wanted to know early on, A, were the rules right, and B, would there be any resonance with the fans? The best way to do it, I thought, was to give the rules away for free.
What was the intent behind that, and how did you guys come up with that?
Okay, so first of all, I was a poor kid in Finland once who really wanted to play war games. Not a cheap hobby normally. And I thought, I don't want to build a game that is a walled garden only for rich people. And of course, in order for them to play, we had no miniatures. So we just said that you can now and forever use whatever miniatures you want. And that's how we got people playing, and they started playing. They started running tournaments, and they started communities all over the world, and they started running events, and they started running in the clubs. And I thought, okay, it worked. I guess I can build upon it. And for some reason, it's the Trench Crusade got a following. So much, in fact, that as soon as we announced the Kickstarter, we went to the most popular forthcoming crowdfunding project in the world and never left the #1 spot. Which was, again, thank you. I am sure that stands very much for you. And there was some really tough competition, like big IPs, big companies. So again, we went, okay, we did something right. So a bit of a disaster. So we invested about 70K. That's because even that is probably Mike had to eat some of the crackers for a couple of months in order for us to pull that off, with well over $6 million US dollars in sales. However, to me, the more impressive number is the 30,000 backers, which shows that if the stars align and you capture lightning in the bottle, it's you can actually command a significant number of people. But even more amazing is that there are way more people who've joined the community once they no longer could back the Kickstarter. So the communities kept growing and being super active, and being incredibly enthusiastic like I've never seen in my career. And I've been making games for 30 years. Like, I'm not spring chicken, so it's very unusual thing to see. I especially like that there is some of the real wargaming spirit. I see so many like indies doing really incredible stuff. I see all these volunteers like volunteering their time, building terrain, running tournaments like Mordheim. There's a big 30-person tournament, which is incredible. Again, 25-year-old game. So stunned, and especially what I like the best is to get to meet players, because I've been making games for decades, and I see the numbers and I see posts on social media. It's completely different than coming to talk to somebody who actually has been playing your games for 25 years and what it means to them. So really humbling.
It makes sense too, and I think it's the perfect timing for this game specifically.
So I gotta say, thank you for creating a game where I can dial up the deviant that I am.
Yeah.
And second, I have a question about the catharsis related to that. Like, it just, for some reason, it makes me feel so much happier.
Yeah.
Can you explain this?
I can. They did a study back in Finland, where I come from. We suspected that listening to death metal, and that Finland is the death metal capital of the world. Like, we have way more death metal fans per capita than anywhere in the world. And the liking horror, body horror, it's the watching horror movies, reading like these very dark and grim books. We did a study, because the theory was that it's really bad for you. You commit crime and you commit suicide, and they found the opposite. Like, the most law-abiding, well-adjusted, is the happiest people are the ones who are in the darkest possible things. And obviously, I'm not a psychologist, but if I'd have to guess, I think that maybe it's a safe way to deal with, because all of us have darkness inside of us. So we've been able to work with some of the really talented indies. There are people with world-class talent all around this hobby. So our first collaboration, which has done
extremely well with Westfalia. It's a good example how we did collaborations. There was no plan. It's just the Westfalia guys were so enthusiastic about the Trench Crusade that they made their own conversion, one of their own models, that went very viral. And then we saw it and started sharing with each other, and we got really enthusiastic that this is awesome. We love this. And then we get to talking and said that, hey, let's do a collaboration. This is still a while away, but I think they got to 500,000. But again, it isn't about so much about the money, but the getting so many eyeballs seeing what else there is in this great hobby. So before we go to the future, for a lot of you have come to me and you want to create your own games, own miniatures, it's the own lore. What can you take from our success? So we decided to put the passion and creativity first. And we knew there were risks and we were willing to eat them. Like we had to do Mike at Blizzard, me at PlayStation, a full day of work every day, and then a second full day of work afterwards. And that's because we really wanted to do it. If you have that urge, I'm not telling anybody, by the way, to work that much. That was stupid. We shouldn't have done it, but it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. Find something that you are passionate about. Not necessarily try to copy what we are doing, because you probably have different interests, the different things you're passionate about. If you really like little cute animals killing each other, then you should make a game about the little cute animals killing each other. Why, if you're gonna go through all this trouble, why take somebody else's idea? So find a vision that works for you and your team, because that's another thing. If any one of us would have given up in the middle, there'd be nothing. So you have to find people who actually want to be with you for the long haul, and find the people, when I say talent, something that whatever they draw or paint or sculpt or write or do rules, it's that you think are awesome. It's that's the path to success. Because if you don't believe what you guys are doing, then nobody else will either. And then let's come back to the artillery witch. Yeah. So everybody wanted for. So I think it's interesting how she became the symbol of the Trench Crusade. Again, there was no plan. It is just something that all the fans gravitated towards. So let's look at what became very popular. You have an artificial woman made in hell in a factory that opens portals and pulls bombs that she chucks on unsuspecting fools, and then everybody loves her for it. To a disturbing extent, there's a lot of demand for a artillery witch body pillow, and I'm not joking. Yeah. There's tons of fan art. There is this lovely lady in New Zealand who is now doing an artillery witch cosplay that we are sponsoring her. And she's doing an absolutely amazing job, as you can see. I think that this is very much a symbol of our success, that it is just a design that's what was not calculated. How can we get people enthusiastic about it? It's all came from the grassroots. So I think it's very fitting that she's the poster girl of the game. So let's talk a little bit about the future then. We are only getting started. Of course, we could have we're gonna deliver the Kickstarter, hopefully within the next month or two, and the books later this summer. And sure, we could take the profit and run, but I don't think you guys backed us so that we do that. I strongly believe people backed us so they could see the future, the next bit of lore, the next miniatures, the next art, and not that this would be a one and done, a flash in the pan. We want to do more collaborations, not only because there is only so many miniatures we can produce quickly, but also because we want you to see and meet all these wonderful creators. We are committed to bring you the models ourselves for all our warbands, including all the sub-factions. We want to do all of them. And most importantly, we've said lots of things in the past. We are never going to give up on those principles. So let's look at them. Here is, by the way, a first glimpse of the rulebook. So we have this wonderful the book artist called Pirinen, a absolutely obsessed Greek guy, done a lot of famous art books. And of course, you've all seen the work of our graphic artist, the Viktor Pushkarev. By the way, I want to give him a shout out. He's a very principled Russian guy who left Russia as soon as the war started. And I'm super happy to work with not only somebody so talented, but somebody so principled. Collaborations, we are gearing up for something big. While we are focusing ourselves on the Kickstarter, we want there to be new Trench Crusade stuff, because if we paid our attention purely on a new product, instead of making sure that the backers get their stuff as quickly as possible, that would slow it down. And we really want everybody to get their models and their books as soon as possible. But luckily, it's the great people at the Creature Caster are stepping in. So the Red Hunger is our next collaboration. It'll be a new sub-faction for the Black Rail. You can see their first concept models at their stand here in Adepticon, so go and give them some love. It's the great people, I love them. But we are doing our own models as well. We are keeping the biggest news as secret, but you can see here Loic from our miniatures team happily working away on something. It's maybe you can get some clues from his screenshots. One of the most common questions we of course get is that what's the next model, when it's coming, what is it like, how it's going to be made.
The reveal of the world, the map, was awesome.
The Trench Crusade world map. Wow. So here it is.
Absolutely also want to do a larger scale campaigns. The campaign map we are doing, the Carcass Front will cover small geographical area. I absolutely want to make something like the old mighty empires where there is a chance to affect a great battle. Maybe that's something we could do as a global campaign. Yep, that goes front.
Excellent.
I see. It's important to join the forces of hell early. Ryan?
Yes. Tell us about the first time experience at Adepticon, the reception.
I mean, we've been absolutely overwhelmed. We were planning to do demo games, but there's been so much foot traffic that we just thought that, okay, let people first get look at the stuff, because we don't want to block it, because people been swarming here. I mean, the reception's been absolutely amazing.
Tuomas, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Congratulations on success.
Thank you, and hopefully many happy returns.